On this episode of Travels with Bill, we're in Roblin, Manitoba, checking out, well, of course, more Christmas lights on this Christmas 2021 special. Hey, check out this house. Isn't it cool? It has some of the neatest nativity characters you've ever seen. Remember where they used to make them as these big hollow plastic things with lights? Well, these guys have a whole set of them, and they're all lit up. It looks so amazing, doesn't it? A little bit on the side here, too. Some carolers doing some caroling there. A nice Noel candle, and then here they are. That wonderful nativity set. It's even got some animals there with it, and some angels. Oh, that looks so impressive, doesn't it? Well, Christmas is getting closer and closer. We happened upon Roblin on the night of the full moon. It's the Christmas moon, of course, making everything extra bright. Hey, check out those. Isn't that cool? They've got the stockings set out there. Well, I don't know if Santa will fill those ones up or not. They're pretty big, but if Santa does fill them, I guess they'll be pretty happy about it. If you look really close, you can see the dogs in the window, too, saying hi to us. And there's even a stocking there with all the pets' names on it. That is so neat, isn't it? There's Cindy Lou Who. She's got an ornament for the Christmas tree. The Grinch, though, seems to be busy stealing some of the lights. Well, that dog is there, too. Isn't his name Max, with the little antler on top of himself tied on there with string? Well, that's a neat display. Here's a Santa Claus train. Now, it's kind of funny. As we were filming the Santa train, you could actually hear a train off in the distance tooting, and as we kept filming, it got closer and closer, and pretty soon a train went through Roblin. I want you to see those lights in the snow here. Isn't that neat how they're sort of buried under the snow? That is a super neat effect for the lights. The snow has fallen over them, and now the snow itself glows. So cool. Here's that red and white look to a house, and check out the little manger scene here. It looks so good. It's backlit, so you're seeing the shadows coming towards you. That's a bit different way to do it, isn't it? Instead of shining the lights on it, shine the lights from the back. It makes it look really nice, though, doesn't it? Some Christmas tree there as well, and the step all decorated. You've even got a snowman. I wanted to show you that ornament, too. Isn't that neat how it's just kind of a hooped kind of ornament? Looks merry and bright. This is the coolest thing. Well, one of them anyway. It's a Christmas pig. Yeah, Christmas pig. Looks like he's set to take off there too. He's got his wings ready to go, and he will be flying with Santa perhaps this year. Well, our visit to Roblin was on a pretty cool night, but we got through quite a bit of the town, looked at a lot of the houses. If we've missed yours, our apologies as always. We picked out a bunch of houses, some big, some small, some in between, just so you could see everything. Look at the snowman here. This is the first time I've seen something like this. It's thick. See how it's a 3D snowman? That's pretty neat, eh? Some neat little characters there, but the snowman himself, I want to make sure you take a look at this, because he's not just flat. And I thought at first maybe this was styrofoam, but no, it looks like it's not styrofoam. To me, it looks like it's probably wood, although I didn't get quite close enough to be sure, but he looks so neat there, lit up and so, vibrant when he's got some oomph to him instead of just being a flat piece of wood. As we were traveling around Roblin, got to wave hi to a whole lot of people in the houses too. Lots of people out and about on a Saturday night in Roblin as they were checking out some Christmas lights and doing the same thing we were, driving around. See the garage there? Isn't that neat how those lights look like they're dancing over top of it? That is so cool. And then the yard is decorated as well. They have some candles there. And if we come all the way back down a tree, and then Mr. Snowman. You can see it was a little bit windy. He's trying to fall over, but well, as far as snowman goes, he's holding out so far at least. So back to that train for a moment. It was so close, and yet I missed it. I was going to try and get over there and film a bit of it for you as a Christmas train, but, well, it didn't quite work out because I could hear it coming, but I certainly didn't get to the crossing in time. I saw its tail feathers going, but I certainly didn't see the whole thing. Some of these people are lucky, though. They live right by the railway track. Oh, dream come true for me. Christmas lights and a railway track couldn't get better than that. Going house to house to house here because you find lots of houses where there's more than just one decorated. You just go from neighbor to neighbor to neighbor, always finding something new and a little bit different. Everybody has their own style for Christmas. It's so cool, right? As we're getting so close to Christmas, there's so many more lights now than there was before. Remember, we started filming these Christmas shows at the end of November. Now, of course, it's almost Christmas time, and so many more people have had a chance to put up those lights. Although I still run into people that say, oh gosh, I wish you'd come back because they're not all quite up yet. Well, that's okay. Nobody knows they're not all up yet. They all look absolutely amazing. Check this one out. Isn't that cool? I want you to see that ornament out in front too. It is really neat. See how it's red and it's got the white little snowflake in the middle of it there? So cool. I like that ornament. The whole house looks cool too, with all the colored lights all the way around it. And of course, the little sleigh there being pulled from some reindeer. This is in the back of that same house. The Paw Patrol guys are out, and well, they're certainly wishing you Merry Christmas. Look at that. They've got a wreath on the one guy there and a candy cane. I wanted you to see this tree. Isn't that neat how it's a nice thick shrub? Well, it's got the lights all the way around it. Now, those are kind of the original style Christmas lights, right? The actual 7-watt bulbs. They look so great. On the garage here, a neat little wreath going on. And if we take a peek, see the front yard's decorated as well. But it's that tree that catches your attention. So amazing. Well, this one's neat too. It's got a bit of a wagon wheel going on. Now, if you keep watching a little later on, we actually have a wagon on this episode too that you can see. I like the trees and the pots there. That makes it look pretty neat. The wreath is there, and then, well, if we walk over a little bit, you can see these guys a little bit better. See how fast they're going? Their antlers are pointing backwards. There's so much wind resistance. Okay, it's a little Christmas joke, right? It's funny. Really, it is. I like the bows on them too, and then if we pan back across the doorstep here, oh, those trees are so cool. What a neat way to do it. Well, these folks have the Grinch on the roof there, if you see him as we go by, but what we really came to see is this guy. Now, I talked about it in a different episode. I'd seen it in the store. Well, here's one in real life. It's a dinosaur eating a Christmas present. I hope it's chocolate. I'm not sure if it is. Looks like he's trying to come over and get us, isn't he? Oh, Mr. Dinosaur is hungry for presents. I hope he doesn't eat all of them. Save some for the kids at least, right? There's a neat house, right? Just the white lights along the top and then along the step as well. Kind of neat. See these lights in the trees? Well, I always love lights up high in trees, I suppose. They're kind of cool too. A few different colors going on, but it looks good to mix them together. Then the neighbor's house there in the background. The house itself done in red trim here. See the lights in the windows? Isn't that cool? They're just kind of peeking out at you through the house. A beautiful Christmas tree on the go there as well inside. Even looks like maybe a deer inside there. And then this neat bush out in front, white on one side, colorful on the other, but those net lights making it look perfect for the holiday season. We've got a huge house coming up in a few minutes time here, but let's look at some more in the meantime. Look at these. Neat trees there, neat wreath, but what we've come to see is more lights and snow because that is so cool and it shows up so well here. This wasn't very hard to do. See how they've got a little ledge and they've just got the lights right along it. Then they let Mother Nature do her thing and the snow fell on them with the LED lights. Well, it doesn't melt the snow, right? So you can see them through there. Very cool. Oh, I like this too. See the neat little candy on the thing there? Yeah, the row of suckers. Those are pretty cool as everybody sees them and they change colors there. And then of course the front step all decorated as well. Some of those presents there. Oh, okay, one more time. We'll look at the lights in the snow. See? I like that. Definitely something you could do for Christmas. These folks have been creative with that tree. You don't realize at first what it is, but then when you get looking, it's kind of a neat thing, eh? Put the rope light in the tree like that. Just a little squiggle gives it some neat kind of look to it. House decorated too, rope light around the windows there, and then lots of ornaments along the side. I like that fence. It's a fence made out of candy canes. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. If you notice, the lights are changing along the top of the house. There's those fancy changing lights that do all the different colors and things, and it doesn't always show up perfect on camera, which is why you should visit Roblin and drive around. They'd love to have you stop in, get some hot chocolate someplace, then tour the town to see the lights, as it were, because Roblin, that's always a neat place to be. There's a neat house, and then, well, imagine living next door to this one. Maybe it's a little bit hard to have competition like that. Isn't it amazing? Look at all the stuff in this front yard. It's so cool. It is, really. Now, it looks like lots of it is handmade wooden ornaments because it's not ones you've bought. It's ones that somebody has put the time into making. And then lots of other stuff there, too. See the lights up in the tree? Kind of cool, right? A beautiful snowman. Oh, I love those ones that have sort of that mesh to them in the wire frame as well. See the word hope there with the little Christmas star above it. Lots of deer out here in front. A sleigh. There's Santa in there too. And a little penguin there. I want to take you in though and show you this nativity scene because it's really cool. So it's worth getting in here, even though we had to kind of walk in the yard to do it, and take a peek at it. See all those guys? Look at that. The donkey, the sheep are there. Of course, the people are there too. Mary, Joseph, baby. They've got the angel, the wise men, a camel. They all look so good. There's the little drummer boy. See him with his drum? Very cool. In the background there you can see love. We'll go back around the other way here so you can see the other side of the house because it's certainly worthwhile seeing all of it. I don't want you to miss any of it. And, you know, I'm brave enough to walk into the yard, whereas you probably just have to drive by. See the joy there? Ooh, I love that one too. And it's got one of those wooden angels up in the tree. Then as we come up this way, see up on the roof, they've got a sleigh there, a reindeer. Oh, hi! Good to see you too. See the lady waving to us in the window? She is certainly happy to share Christmas with you, as are we. Peace there with the little angel, the love again up by the house. Such a neat house. Oh, this was worth checking out. If you're in Roblin, this is over by the high school, kind of. You got to drive around there a little bit, but you'll find it. Don't worry. If you're driving all over town, you won't miss it. I like these candy canes too, makes that little pathway, but what we really came to see was the Christmas raccoons. The Grinch seems to have the trees stolen already, but Santa's got the raccoons out and no doubt going to try to save the day as Christmas gets closer and closer. Well, sometimes we look for some of the neatest things, and sometimes we find stuff that we've never seen anywhere else before. This is a house like that. Let's start with taking a look at the mailbox. See the dog up on top? See who comes out of it? That is so cool, isn't it? It opens up, and then it closes back up again. I like that. Anytime you see motion in a display, it's pretty neat. Sometimes it's just lights turning off and on, but this one, the mailbox is actually moving. That's not the only neat thing either. As we get a little closer to the door here, see a wooden tree, a couple snowmen, but there's Rudolph. See what's happening to Rudolph's nose? Yep, it blinks red. Well, if it happens to be a foggy Christmas Eve, this little guy is certainly ready to guide Santa's sleigh to make sure the presents get to all the girls and boys this year. Overall, just a beautiful house. I love the motion, though. Good job on that if this is your house. Look out just a little bit more. You can see it moving one more time there as we come out by. Look at that, the whole picture. Just perfect, isn't it? Well, here's a little snowman. I wanted you to see these lights on the ground and also the color of the lights in the trees. And that's a little disappointing to me because they're like purple and green. It's so cool, but then on camera, it doesn't show quite as good. What happens when you get those really bright LED lights? They tend to lose the color a little bit just because of how bright they are. If you find it in person, though, it's so much better that I can show you a video. And I love the lights on the ground, how it makes little paths between the trees and stuff. That's a really neat way of doing it. Check out this kind of the classic two-story house with the beautiful candles up on top there, and then the neat little walkway made out of candy canes. And right next door we find this. It's a Christmas wagon, I suppose. Now they are Rider fans, and you have to forgive them for that because not everybody knows what the Blue Bombers are. Although really, a lot of people in this part of the world would cheer for the green instead of for the blue, I suppose. The wagon, the most important part, though. Isn't that neat how it's sitting out in the yard, all decorated? And then if we get a little bit closer here, I want you to see the snowmen. They're made out of blocks of wood. Now, they're not lit, but they look so cool, aren't they? I like that. What a neat way of making a Christmas decoration just out of some everyday stuff. It's just some pieces of tree, you know, smoothed off a little bit so they stack better. And ta-da, it's Christmas. Well, for those Rider fans out there, we'll let you see the sign one more time before we move on, because, you know, go green, yay. Here's a neat one. This is right along Highway 83 as it goes through Roblin. Love what they've done with the bush here, just back and forth with the lights, but it looks so cool. The houses are all done too. There's several houses in a row here, so we'll show you these two, then we'll show you one a little bit further down too. Well, that almost does it for our tour of Christmas lights in Roblin, Manitoba. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Now, you'll find a bunch of Christmas light tours on Travels with Bill, but that's not the only thing we do. We travel all across Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Canada, show you some of the neatest places to go and some of the history of those places as well. So subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. It lets us make more videos for you, and it makes sure you always see the latest episode of what's happening on Travels with Bill. This is kind of a neat one too. See that same little thing with the bushes all laid out there so nice. Some rope light in the tree. I like that. And then those little starry lights all over the house lighting it up. Very cool. Certainly enjoyed our visit to Roblin. Thanks to everybody that waved and said hi to us while we were there. It was so nice to see you. And this is it, our final house of the night. Check that out. He is alive. Well, there's a nice Christmas message, isn't it? I think so. I like how it blinks too. It's got the cross out in front. Little nativity scene here. I'm going to zoom in on that for you so you can see a little bit better. Ah, cool, isn't it? Yep, Christ is definitely part of Christmas. Well, that does it. Farewell from Roblin, Manitoba. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Travels with Bill.